Is Barb coming as far as we know?
She'll be coming in.
That's fine.
Right. You read this? Good God.
We aren't gonna do nothing with it.
I thought I was gonna be later, that I was barely got my butt in the chair.
Well, I never wanted to get my things up, and I realized that my internet had changed since the last time.
Okay, it is 6:01 p.m. I think we'll call this meeting to order. Thank you for everybody coming tonight on this beautiful evening. Call the roll, please.
Berkland,
Yes.
Moller,
Yes.
Wally,
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, before I ask for approval of the meeting agenda, as most of you, or maybe all of you know, there is one change to our agenda tonight. We will not be holding the nuisance abatement hearing at the request of the person who requested the hearing. So I'm now ready for a motion to approve tonight's meeting agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Berkland,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Tonight's consent agenda items include minutes of the last meeting, which is July 18th, 2022, regular city council meeting, payments for contract services, including Bolton and Meek, Violet Hill Cemetery Management in the amount of $1,870, Bolton and Meek, Iowa Street Stormwater Wetland, $3,187, Bolton and Meek, Frog Creek Restoration Phase 1, that's $28,077. Bolton and Meek General Municipal Engineering, $2,256. Bolton and Meek 2019 Sanitary Sewer SIP lining, $2,139. Ethos for the Hotel Patty facility evaluation in the amount of $37,308.66. Greater Dallas County Development Alliance fiscal year 2023 membership, $20,000, and that should total up to $94,837.66. Tonight, we also have claims, register, and financials in the amount of $760,078.29. And license and permits, we have none tonight. So I need a motion to approve these consent items we just went over.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I've got a question. Violet Hill Cemetery Management, what have they got to manage out there that's costing us $1,800?
So this is kind of Liz's project. I don't know. So
The new ground they took?
they are digitizing the management of the cemetery records. So they're GPSing every plot and collecting all of that data. And then it'll all be digital GIS, just like our infrastructure maps, sewer, water, storm sewer, stuff like that, so that it's easier for Liz to manage and Richie to manage and all of that.
Great.
Yep.
I was just
So
wondering
I think-
why would we do that?
Forget how long ago we did that the professional services agreement
Yeah,
that outlines all of their
Probably
work.
March.
Yeah.
I think it was March
Yeah,
timeframe.
I remember that. But what is this?
Yep.
Okay.
So
Do they write a number on each tombstone now too?
a digital number. And there will be a picture of every stone,
That's
so
right.
that when you click on a parcel, then the picture of the stone will pop up. There'll also be a public facing aspect to this, that anybody can get on and search all of the records. So you could get on and search, all the Petersons in Violet Hill Cemetery and find out where we're all buried. So,
That's nice.
but yeah, it'll be a really nice project and a great way to get a lot of those records out there where people can access them. So,
No, I think people really appreciate that.
yeah.
But Dean, I want to thank you for asking, because I didn't understand it.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what are we doing out there? So, yeah, great explanation. Makes good sense.
Any other discussion about the consent agenda items before we take the roll? If not, call the roll, please.
Walling.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, moving right along, city administrator's report.
So I've got a couple things, both kind of people related, but first is excited to announce as my role with the Greater Dallas County Development Alliance, which we just paid dues to. We do have a new executive director starting tomorrow. So we're excited to get her on board. Her name is Rachel Wacker, and she is with the city of West Des Moines right now, and is coming over to the Alliance with a lot of great experience. So excited to get her going. And then the other good news is that Chief Vaughn was able to get somebody hired that starts Monday that puts him at full staff. So I think for the first time in 5 years. But I think he has 3 people going to the academy here this month, and they'll be there and come back and get trained up and put out on the street. So I know he's excited about that.
Sounds good. I know that's a never-ending job for chief to continually recruit.
Are you
Thank you.
gonna- I've got a question for Chief. Maybe I shouldn't ask it right now. Are you gonna get your bike patrol started sooner or later?
Well, if we get, actually, in the last budget, we budgeted for electric bicycle. Get that electric bicycle here. And some training on it. Just one of the process manpower again, just training and have a bicycle instructor. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. Get that bicycle ordered this fall, and then it's back.
Yeah, I think those electrics are really strong.
Yeah.
Gonna sell all the old ones then?
Might sell some of them, we haven't decided totally. Yeah, so we have a couple extra. We have a big event.
Once it cools off, I'll volunteer, give them all of it for free too. Let me know, go through them along, run them like a dream. Thank you.
And we're also going to be ordering Perry PD bike shorts, spandex. for all the officers.
Good idea.
As long as the council and the mayor doesn't have to worry.
That's right.
Anything else, Fran?
Nope, that's what I've got. Anybody have any questions for me on stuff? All right.
Okay, moving on to mayor council comments. I don't really have anything except just the important reminder, as we all know, it's going to be hot the rest of the week. I believe I heard tomorrow's going to be the pick day for the heat, going to be hottest day of the week. So just a reminder, look out for yourselves, your family, your neighbors, your pets. It really is pretty serious when it gets this hot. So that's all I have. Council?
Car show's still October 8th, still on the schedule.
Are you taking registrations now already?
No.
No.
It's a drive-in. We don't pre-register.
Okay.
And I don't charge to do that. I put it on. This year, I don't think I've qualified for the hotel money, so I'll put it on my own.
It's on my calendar. I'm looking forward to it.
Just a quick update. Barb and myself and Jack and Chief Bowen had a good meeting, safety meeting. And we went over some of those things, some of the things that you talked about, bus stop, and we went over the UTV things. So that's been at least discussed firsthand between the four of us.
Good.
Did you decide to put a stop sign at the bus stop?
I don't have my notes on that with me. I think that we decided to wait and see what the school year, because there have been some improvements made there, some trees that were moved and some things. Is that right?
Yep, so I got Michael Michelson was the school teacher there, and she said that toward the end of the school year last year, after some discussions with Troy Griffith, who is the transportation director at the schools, they moved the bus stop away from the storage units back over to where the bus stop was originally. Then they put some barricades around their property so we don't have vehicles pulling up there, and remove some trees to help improve that line of sight. So we had this discussion, the kind of thought was, we're gonna take a look at it, see how that first month or so of school goes, see if things improve, and then if they don't improve, then we're gonna look at maybe changing, there's yield signs on Stella there, and maybe changing those to stop signs and see if that might fix it. But we're gonna kind of leave it as is and kind of take a look at it in that first month.
And they're gonna move the bus stop.
Yeah, apparently they did already at the end of last year. She said about 3 weeks before the school
Was out.
Yeah, before school was out. So I wasn't aware of that, but yeah, so hopefully she was kind of along she had kind of the same thoughts, just hoping that would improve things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really big bus stop. That's probably one of there's a lot of kids right there. So
Just don't want anybody to run home.
absolutely, absolutely.
Thanks for the update. Anything else from council for comments? If not, we'll move on to open forum. Speakers will be asked to step up to the microphone if they're present and state their name and address for the record. Individuals speaking will be given the usual 3 minutes to address council.
Lindsay Fasuti, 1119 Warford, representing the chamber, 1124 Willis. Just giving in a quick update, busy with the chamber as always, but we have 2 ribbon cuttings Thursday. Quick Start at 11 a.m. and Blonde Sisters Boutique at 6 p.m. Friday Fest on Friday, 6 to 9:30. The band is Rescue Dogs. Had a really great farmers market season so far. Public Safety Night was just last month. We've started introducing food trucks, one different one every night, so that'll continue. Back to school night will be August 18th. So lots of different things going on. The street dance was very successful last Friday or 2 Fridays ago, whatever. Time doesn't exist sometimes. So lots of things going on. And later on in your agenda, you have Beggars Night discussion. So we are, as a chamber and the hospital, are planning on a spectacular being Friday, October 29th, I think the date is. Is that right? 28th? Friday, yes, the last Friday. So after some discussion, based on those events being the success of those being based on those that participate, so our businesses and staff at the hospital, we've decided, chamber and hospital, to move forward with October, with the last Friday in October to be those events, and kind of seeing how that stands as a regular thing regardless of how the date falls. The last couple of years that I've been here, it seems like we start talking about this months and months in advance, and we say, is it the 30th? Is it adjusted based on weekend or Wednesday or whatever? So that's what we're gonna do for the next couple of years, is the last Friday. So it'll be up for you all to decide if you wanna go the same night as that for Beggars Night, or stick with the 30th. So I think recommendation right now is to stick with that date with those other 2 events, but we'll see whatever you decide on that. So just putting it out there before it comes up on the agenda. I'm gonna go downstairs and listen on Zoom. Anything else that you guys need
I
from
thought
me?
it was a great ribbon cutting last Friday at It's Hair. There was
Yes.
a nice crowd of people there, and it was nice ribbon cutting.
Yes, so what's going on?
Anything else for Lindsay? Thank you.
Always.
Anybody else here in person or online for open forum? If not, we'll move on. Next item on our agenda that we're not going to hold, as we discussed earlier, nuisance abatement hearing. We're not going to have that tonight, but I will entertain a motion to reschedule that nuisance abatement hearing.
I make the motion, we reschedule nuisance abatement hearing.
Second.
And that's for August 15th that you guys are motioning and seconding, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
August 15th.
I've got something I'd kind of like to add to this. This dog registration is a yearly fee of $20, right? That's a lot of money for low income people.
It's 20 if the animal is spayed, if not spayed or neutered, it's 5. They are spayed or neutered.
Could we, does council ponder having a lifetime for the life of the dog, $20 or $25 membership fee? It'd be way easier for people that own dogs, especially low income people. I think $20 is really high to have it every year. Something for us guys to ponder, you know, make it a yearly fee, maybe that, or the life of the animal fee. I know you get probably more people, you won't make as much money maybe. But I think it would, it used to be a fee like that years back, where it wasn't a yearly fee. So you register your dog once, it's registered dogs.
Well, I think one of the things that they do when they register it is to check on their current rabies. So I would be in favor of reducing the annual fee, but still checking to make sure the vaccinations are up to date.
I think you're supposed to take the certificate for the rabies with you when you get your registration done.
Yeah.
And if you do a lifetime, they may give them a rabies shot and then
May not have it.
may not ever do it again.
That's
In the
something-
same sense, they could always, when they go and get that rabies shot, they could send in that certificate. Let them know.
And
You know,
we
it's,
we have also looked at a company that helps with pet registrations, that helps automate the process, and you can pay online and stuff like that. So we are looking into that and would probably bring that to council at some point. And they manage, you know, sending out reminders, things like that. They help take the registrations. And then there's actually a portal that the vets can log into and upload the rabies vaccination. But the vaccination is the reason for the annual registration of animals.
Could we see that lower then? So that
Well, I mean, part of it is encouraging people to get their pets spayed or neutered. So that's why it would only be $5. And then that's kind of paired up with some low income spay neuter clinics that Pet Rescue puts on and stuff like that. So there's been avenues to help those low income folks. But I think part of it is also, you know, doing more outreach and education of the reason for it and stuff like that.
Dean, I understand your comments.
It's a lot of money for people.
Well, yes and no. Anybody that has a dog and takes care of a dog and appreciates the dog, $20 is a drop in the bucket for what they spend to have the dog and to feed the dog and the veterinarian bills and so on and so forth. I'm not opposed to changing the price. But the fact of the matter is, anybody that has a dog is spending way more than that on their care and their upkeep and so on and so forth.
Spend more than that a month.
Yeah.
well, my question would be, do we have a lot of dogs that are registered?
I suspect we do, but I don't know that for a fact.
I feel like I got the number and it was a couple hundred, but has fallen over the years. But again, I think as people, if we were go to that new system, I think the annual reminder of people, because I think people just kind of forget and then don't do it and it falls off.
Then an online registration make it easy. They
Yep.
don't even have to come up.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like the split scale between spayed and non-spayed.
Yep.
And I know when I go take mine to the groomers, I have to have the rabies updated, given to her. And I order food on Chewy and they go right through the veterinarian to get that.
Yep.
So
Okay, sounds like it's something we'll
there is something we could
Look
probably
at the
look at
whole-
and get better.
the whole arena of dog registration and such. Okay, so I think we've got a motion and a second to approve the rescheduling the abatement for August 15th, is that right? Okay, any further discussion on that? If not, call the roll, please.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
And thank you. Old business. First item under old business is approval of pay application number 14 for the wastewater treatment facility improvements. Pay application number 14 in the amount of $778,051.58 to Woodruff Construction for the construction of the wastewater treatment facility improvements to date. Total payments requested by the contractor is 38.3% of the total amount of work to be completed under the contract. All documents have been reviewed and signed by the engineer and are recommended for approval. Need a motion, please?
I'll second.
Discussion. Here comes Matt to share some information with us.
I had to take notes, actually. I was out there today. There's a lot going on. So most of the focus has been on structural stuff lately. If anyone's poked out and seen it, you've probably seen a lot of buildings and tanks and everything are coming up finally. So it's kind of cool to see things coming out of the ground. Operations building is well on its way. The nutrient reduction building has started, which is one of the big pieces we added to our process for the plant here. So that's good to see that get started. Starting to prep on aeration basins. There's a dump station that is almost complete near the entrance to the plant. A lot of testing on the tanks, looking at basically filling them all up full of water, make sure they're not leaking. I would say, I think the last time we were here, we talked about a couple of them had some leaks. We did resolve those, so no worries, no more leaks. So those are coming along pretty well. We did have a bigger item come up today. We found some underground utilities that are a big footprint out there that couldn't be anywhere exactly right where you don't want them. So we're working through some things with some potential plan changes to go around those. There are some larger structures that have an impact. So we're working on some of those things. So things that happen over the years, old manholes, old concrete in the ground. Of course, anything at a wastewater plant for the most part is all gravity flow. So you can't really move pipes up and down very much. So we're going to try to go around. So questions?
I've got a question. I see the guy out there with the spade and poker shoveling around and looked like you. Was that you trying to find them missing old man?
Was it today? It might have been.
Looks like you got some stuff.
It was warm out there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Walling.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Kirkland.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Next item, letter B under old business. Approval of pay application number 3 for phase 2 of the relocation of runway 1430 seconds. Pay application number 3 in the amount of $217,299.77 to Wenthold Excavating LLC for grading work on phase 1 of the relocation of runway 1430 seconds has been received and signed by the engineer and is recommended for approval. Need a motion, please?
Make a motion to pass approval of pay application number 3 for phase 1 of relocation of runway 1432.
I'll second that.
Discussion. Looks like Matt has some more updates for us.
So this one's also moving along really well. Wenthold's doing a great job. All the tests are passing. They're working really well with the airport staff, with the FAA. We did have an FAA visit last week, so that's always fun. I went out there today. It looks great. You can drive down. You can actually see where the runway is. Most of the dirt work is done. They're starting to get the pipe work into the ground. Sub drains are going in and conduit for electrical stuff coming up. So they're working along really well. Hopefully we keep our fingers crossed as the funding becomes available for the next phase. We can move right into that and keep right on going.
How's the dryness of the soil impacting
The one thing we're finding is we have a lot of sand there. And so it's not terrible for us right now. We do have to keep letting it down and keep ahead of it. One operation we do have coming up that we're discussing is stabilizing the soils. It's kind of an FAA expectation. They like to have a cement treat the soils out there. So it'll kind of somewhat take some of that worry or concern about the soil conditions away.
I was going to say, when this is dry, you just kind of wait for the rains. And
Yeah. Well, the one thing we actually were out there, the water table is really high. So actually driving the project today, we're cutting in ditches to help alleviate some of the groundwater conditions underneath what the future pavement will be. Those ditches are holding water. Mhm. So they're probably 2 to maybe 3 foot deep in areas. So it's not as dry as you would think out there.
Thank you. Any further discussion on approving this application number 3? Okay, call the roll, please.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Berglund,
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes,
Thank you. Letter C under old business, resolution approving an agreement with First Children's Finance to provide consulting services to the city of Perry for the Rural Child Market Study Grant. The council applied for a Rural Child Care Market Study Grant per resolution 050221 with the Iowa Economic Development Authority, IEDA. And said application was approved and a grant agreement accepted per resolution 062022A for the cost sharing up to $10,000 through the Iowa Center for Rural Revitalization. First Children's Finances will provide consulting services to the city of Perry as outlined in the agreement to complete the Rural Child Care Market Study for a fee of $15,000. This resolution would accept said agreement. Need a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution approving an agreement with First Children's Finance to provide consulting services to the city of Perry for the Rural Child Market Study Grant.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
We've been over this a couple of times, but again, a little program from the Iowa Rural Empowerment Council, or Empower Rural Iowa, to take a look at the state of childcare within Perry and then have recommendations and a strategic plan of how to address any issues or opportunities that come from that study.
Any further discussion? Sounds like something that would be valuable in this tight market for childcare and related services. If there's no other discussion, call the roll, please.
Klein,
Yes,
Berglund,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Thank you. Letter D under old business. Resolution authorizing the mayor to sign and accept the Iowa Economic Development Authority, IEDA, award for a downtown housing grant project located at 1203 Second Street. The city of Perry submitted to the Iowa Economic Development Authority, IEDA, an application for a downtown housing grant on behalf of Sheffer Enterprises, LLC, per resolution 011822 D. And on June 14th, 2022, the city of Perry was notified by the Iowa Economic Development Authority, IEDA, that the city of Perry was awarded $600,000 for the downtown project located at 1203 Second Street. This resolution would accept the grant agreement award number ARPDH-046 from IEDA for the downtown housing project located at 1203 Second Street, and authorize the mayor to sign all forms necessary to execute the agreement. Need a motion, please?
I make a motion, we pass a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign and accept the Iowa Economic Development Authority award for the downtown housing grant project located at 1203 Second Street.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
So this is just the grant agreement for the Tin Pig housing project.
When will they get started on that?
Not quite sure yet. Hopefully, I would imagine they need to work on plans and then get contractors together and stuff like that. So, yep.
Do they have an approximate number of units?
13. Yep.
How many were above Perry Clean? 8?
8. Yep.
Some of them have already been rented. People are looking
Last I knew, I think he has 6 rented.
like crazy.
So, yep.
Big demand there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're getting a cadre of some nice apartments downtown. Any further discussion? Okay, call the roll, please.
Berglund,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Yes. Mahler.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to new business. Resolution awarding a quote for the 2022 PCC crack ceiling project on July 26, 2022 at 2 p.m. Quotes were received for the 2022 PCC crack ceiling project. 3 quotes were received. All quotes were responsive, and quotes for the total price are summarized as follows. Parking lot specialties, $47,550. Henriksen Contracting LLC in the amount of $57,750. National Sealant and Concrete LLC, $66,150. The engineer's estimate for the 2022 PCC crack ceiling project was $45,750. Parking lot specialties was 3.93% above the engineer's estimate for the project and determined to be the lowest responsible bidder. Bolton and Mink Inc. reviewed the quote documents submitted and was satisfied with responses given. Bolton and Mink recommends award of the 2022 PCC crack ceiling project to Parking Lot Specialties for a quote amount of $47,550. Need a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve a resolution awarding a quote for the 2022 PCC crack ceiling project.
I'll second.
Discussion.
We do this every year.
Just about, we've kind of, is this our second or third round of crack sealing?
We were just having, I think it's the 3rd year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Parking Lot Specialties had it last year. This year's a little bit different of approach. We're focusing on concrete pavements around town versus our asphalt streets. So a little bit different in our unit prices than we've seen in the past years. It's a little bit more work.
I was gonna ask you, do they have a big truck that's full of this stuff and then?
It's quite a, well, kind of. It's like a big pot that kind of goes
Yeah.
On a trailer.
Yeah, but there's a lot of work to go through, clean all the joints and clean the cracks and.
Usually it's a little convoy of somebody, a truck with a big compressor that they blow out the cracks. And then a truck with the crack sealing machine comes next, seals the cracks, and then the guy with the roll of toilet paper to make it so that it doesn't stick to tires.
That's a technical part right there.
Yep.
And it's a fast.
They use a one ply.
A one ply.
Yeah.
Today would be a fun day to put that hot stuff down.
Is it not true that they put toilet paper over it?
It's kind of, yeah, it's basically pretty close to what it is.
Thank you for the kind of.
Any other discussion on the crack ceiling project? If not, call the roll, please.
Mahler.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Berglund.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Next item. We're going to move on to trick or treat setting. Resolution setting trick or treat date and time. The city council has authority to set times and dates for special activities. This resolution would set trick or treat night in Perry for October 28th, 2022 from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. The Chamber of Commerce and Dallas County Hospital have set this date for their hosted activities, and the date and time corresponds with those planned activities. It is recommended that participating households turn porch lights on and that safety guidelines set by the community, state, and federal health departments will be followed. Need a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to pass resolution setting trick or treat date and time for October 28th, 6 to 8.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
Is 8 p.m. a realistic time?
That's what we usually go with, I think.
But is it realistic? As I remember, in our neighborhood, we've got them coming considerably later than that. Pardon?
Blow out your pumpkin, turn off the lights.
I think the reason for 8 o'clock is by that time, it probably about 7 o'clock, 7:30 is sunset. So it's just after dark, and trying to get kids in and not out late in the dark. I think crossing streets and stuff. That's what it's always been. probably based on, I would say, Eric, do you think? Based. Yeah. But if you want to stay out later, you sure can.
And the hospital. and-
I'll leave my lights on.
I think they're more like, are they 4:30 to 6? Or
I think
something like that?
something like that.
Is that the day after?
No, it's all Friday night. So we always try and set our beggars night with the chamber and the hospital, so that you only have to dress up kids once. And it's been working really well being on a Friday night. It's not a school night that you have to worry about getting up the next day and getting kids to school.
Okay, there's
I know the
6,
teachers like
and
it.
then the hospital's 5 to like 6.
I know the teachers like it. It's Friday. Instead it used to be Thursday.
So
Sugared out.
like Lindsay mentioned, that they're probably gonna stick it to last Friday of October every year. Depending on how this goes, we've been talking for quite a while about just doing one resolution and saying City of Perry's Beggars Night is last Friday of October. And then we don't have to bring this up every year. We can just do our regular reminders with the chamber and the hospital as one PSA, get all of that information out.
Once we vote on this, can we pass that resolution tonight? It'd be nice to get it off
wouldn't
the
be,
books.
it wouldn't be on the agenda. I guess if you wanted to, on the agenda, it's just setting trick or treat date and time. So if you wanted to amend your vote, however, I don't know if we want to just wait this year and make sure that it works well for the hospital and chamber, and do it next year, or
Worked well for them for a couple of years now.
Yeah, but it's because it was over a weekend. Now we're gonna
Yeah.
be getting up to the 27th, 26th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be pretty early.
And it's gonna be pretty early.
Down the road, it'll be
relative to-
pretty early.
Relative to Halloween.
Maybe we need to look at the calendar.
Friday before, they don't care.
They might want to do it twice, 25th and the 31st.
I know Liz was talking about taking her kids to a couple of different towns to collect all the candy.
Yeah.
They do
Sugar
that.
high, that's what I
Yeah,
look for.
A lot of them come here too.
So I guess I would maybe say, let's see how this year goes and then double check with chamber and hospital next year, and then maybe have a more firm, setting it for the last Friday of October annually.
And then look at the calendars for the next 4 or 5 years, just kind of see how those dates fall. Are we gonna get kind of a gap between the Friday night thing and the actual closer to?
Well, couldn't we
Closer
just
to
set
it.
it for the same night that the hospital and the chamber, just match that every year? Just put it in there, we'll set it for the same night, because we always have the same night anyway.
Yeah.
I would think we probably want a resolution that is a little bit more firm to a day rather than other people's events.
So we'll do this for this year, and then we'll look at it sometime between now and.
I can't agree more. At some point, Halloween's gonna be the next Thursday, and that feels a little distant. And I don't know if there's extra costs for cheap on and those kinds of things that are correlated with that. But I'm just a purist. I like to celebrate the holiday on the holiday. So, but I'm not gonna throw a race in the plan. I just wanted to say that if we do get to that where the Halloween is following Thursday, I think it's a little bit spaced out.
Let's set this resolution for tonight, since that is a resolution anyway, and then look ahead for future. Any further discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Klein,
Yes.
Berkland,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Okay. Next item, let us see, resolution accepting a storm sewer easement within the city of Perry. Staff discovered a storm sewer at 1511 18th Street and that did not have an easement for access and maintenance on file. Staff requested a 20-foot wide storm sewer easement from the owner, who complied and signed the easement document. This action formally accepts the easement and authorizes staff to have the document recorded. Need a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to pass the resolution accepting the storm sewer easement.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Pretty self-explanatory, but just need to get that easement
Okay,
approved.
call the roll, please.
Walling,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Berkland,
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Next item, resolution authorizing the sale of unused outdated equipment. The city of Perry has accumulated pieces of equipment that are no longer needed for municipal purposes and desires to dispose of the following: a 2012 Chevrolet Impala. I'm not going to read the VIN number or whatever. It's recreation. 2013 Ford F-150. VIN number is there if anybody wants to look at it. 2005 Chevrolet Silverado for maintenance. 2006 Chevrolet Colorado for compliance, and 2010 Chevrolet Impala planning and zoning. This equipment will be disposed of in a manner calculated to obtain the best possible sale price, and the finance officer will deposit the proceeds into the city of Perry's operation fund accordingly. Need a motion, please?
I make a motion to pass a resolution authorizing the sale of unused, outdated equipment.
I'll second.
Discussion?
So I was going to mention this under the consent agenda, but you've already approved it, so it doesn't really matter. But there's a invoice from Stivers Ford for 4 vehicles between the Parks Department, Maintenance, and Rec Department. So they'll go pick up those 4 tomorrow. And then the Colorado, which is Mr. Colton's for compliance. I think for now, we might switch out to a retired police car until we're able to find a good vehicle. We've had a hard time with the government pricing and ordering through Ford and Chevy. And it's really not probably a good outlook that we'd get anything anytime soon. So that's why Parks, Rec, and Maintenance decided to just go get some good used vehicles instead of buying new and maybe getting them in a couple years. So again, with Mr. Colton's car, we'll be maybe keeping an eye out for something that is lightly used enough to get something nice for him to be able to drive. So maybe they're harder to come by, but maybe something in the Ranger or Colorado or F-150 type size for him. So
Could we put it in a smart card? Save some gas money?
we've talked about it. I don't know when we'll ever see it, but we are on the list for some of the F-150 Lightnings. Thing with Mark's is that he will, pick stuff up as he's going or carry around a weed eater and stuff like that. So he kind of needs a pickup, but we'll find him something nice. So.
Did Stivers have anything there that was interesting?
He really didn't have much in that smaller pickup size, and then their F-150s are pretty high miles. So we might, we might need to get a little bit creative on that.
And are these vehicles traded in, or are they put up for public auction? What are they done?
Yeah, these will do some either sealed bids or put them on an internet auction site, something like that. We offered them to Stivers for trade-ins, and they politely declined. These are
too many miles.
Well, just those retired police cars are ridden pretty hard, so Parks takes the last bit of life out of them. So, but these are all going to be good vehicles to be able to auction. So
let's create a Parks and Rec to find some nice used ones.
Yep.
Save us
And
some money.
luckily Greg Hadlin with maintenance department has a pretty good mechanical background, so he was able to go and check them all out and give them the green light. So.
Any further discussion on the vehicle disposal? If not, call the roll, please.
Barkland,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling, yes, Schott.
Yes.
Thank you. Having no further business before us tonight, we stand adjourned at 6:46 PM. Thank you.